Yes, so I did have one request in terms of a topic for this week, and that was about the fix and go. So not really about training a specific exercise, but in the ring, what happens? So let me make a few comments about a fix and go before I say how to best utilize it if you choose to. Okay? If you are not aware, in obedience, if you don't like the way an exercise went, and you don't have to NQ it, okay? It can be a cue, but you're working on something and you're not happy. After the exercise finishes, the judge says, exercise finish. You can look at the judge and say, I'd like to do a fix and go. Okay? And basically, you can redo the exercise within reason, right? You cannot touch your dog. You cannot run at your dog to correct. So, for example, let's say it's utility and your dog um, can't find the go out spot. You can move closer. You can have the dog wait. You can touch the stanchion, come back, send the dog. You cannot run out there and say to the dog, this is where I want you. Okay. No, no, no. Um, the other thing is, and I'm seeing this more and more in the ring, and so are some other judges. If, say, on a drop on recall and your dog doesn't drop, I've had people start walking towards their dogs. Don't do that. That is a correction. That is going to be considered a fix and go, and you will be leaving the ring. So never walk towards your dog, like, afterwards, just call your dog to you. Okay. So when do you want to do a fix and go? If you are constantly having problems with an exercise, you should not be entering the class and hope that a fix and go magically fixes it. Um, that's not the purpose of it. If you have a dog who knows the exercise, so let's say the drop on recall, dog knows it, and let's say the first day the dog hesitates, sometimes they hesitate and they don't drop. Yep, you call it in. Um, You may or may not wish to, and I'm going to talk about when you would do it. The second day, if the dog does that again, that's when I would do the fix and go. Okay. Dogs make mistakes. Okay. One mistake does not mean something's broken. Okay? If so, you have to think about that. If you don't know if your dog has qualified, and some of that might be healing, the dog gets lost, is looking around, maybe went back to you, maybe didn't. Sometimes Q and Q, depending how the dog responds to you. You can always ask the judge when the judge says exercise finish, was that a quali? Did I qualify on that exercise? Okay. But basically, how do I look at fix and goes? Um, if it's the first exercise in the ring, I don't want to blow everything and have to leave the ring right away. I don't do it. Now, obviously, I'm in the B classes. I say obviously, it's not obvious. And it's not because I have an arch, okay? Here's a little story for you. Years ago, before I ever entered the ring, I took Jeannie's Sheltie time in the ring. That was her first arch. I had never been in the ring before. Jeannie had entered the dog. This was in Missouri. She had to go out of town for a work meeting. For a month, Jeannie trained me on footwork and how to do open and utility. Um, the dog knew how to do it. Time was fine. Um, I ended up showing time. We ended up getting high and trial, high combined. Um, and this dog looked like she was laughing at me the whole time. Okay? But in those days, if you showed a notch, you never saw an A class. So I've been in B classes forever. Okay? Now I did earn a notch with um, Liza, so that's why I'm in the B classes. But obviously, B classes, you have the different orders. So if let's say I used before the example of the drop on recall, if it was first, would I do the fix and go? No. If it was last, would I? Yes. So something to think about. Okay. Don't just do a fix and go willy-nilly. Now, the other thing, if you are thinking about a fix and go, you have to have a plan before you get in the ring. Okay. So Let's say I feel confident about my dog, what my dog can do in open, but maybe um, I'm not sure. We'll just continue with the drop on route. Maybe I'm not sure about the drop on recall. And so my thought process might be, okay, if my dog just blows through it, I'm going to do a fix and go. And this is what I'm going to do. So I have a plan going in. A fix and go without a plan is a waste of time. You're not getting what you need out of it. The dog's not getting what you need. And you've just blew a chance to, do other things in the ring. So you want to be very careful about it. I know some people love the fix and go, some hate it. I'm kind of mid-range. You have to be smart about it. Now, by smart about it. When we train, you can teach your dog by your body if the dog is wrong. So Liza sometimes would walk the broad jump. Now, what I realized was years later she had some back issues, but she also, and we didn't know this at the time, had the beginnings of a psoas injury, right? So obviously the broad jump's the hardest thing. And she would gently tiptoe between the two boards and all that. She knew from training if I kind of went whoop and turned, if I did not let her front after a broad jump, it meant she was wrong. That's all I had to do in the ring for her to know she was wrong. I didn't say wrong. I didn't look upset. She walked it. I go, whoop, let's go. And we'd heal to the next exercise. Nice and simple, nothing horrendous, um, nothing anyone could say, gee, you were so mean to your dog. Nope, because she knew she was wrong. And I would look at her and say, let's finish strong. I would happily do the rest. Um, and so that's something to think about. So let's say the broad jumps first, right? And open if you're in the B things. Yeah, whoop. The dog knows it's wrong. You know your dog knows how to do the broad jump. You don't need to do a fix and go there. You've told the dog it's wrong. And so now you do the rest. Say healing the dog's lagging. You might say while healing, heal. You might give an extra command. What do you care about 3 points? You've already NQ'd, right? It's subtle. It's not going to get you tossed out of the ring. Okay. Now, things that really look like training, judges are going to have a limit. But so let's get back to the fix and go itself. And I'm going to do the drop on recall because this is what I see a lot in the ring. I was judging for the Cato Club in Texas. Can I say I'll never judge for them again? It was wild. Okay. But so kind of outdoors covered on dirt, and about three dogs blew through the drop on recall. All three handlers said, fix and go. Great. The handlers called the dog again, sat down, the dog blew through it again, and they left the ring. What in the world did the dog just learn? The dog just learned that they could blow through the drop twice, and it didn't do anything for him. So you need to have a plan. So what you might do on the drop on recall is call the dog. Maybe because it's a fix and go, use both your voice and a signal if needed. You might take just 2 steps forward, right? You're not touching the dog, but just make it get a little closer when you say down. And once the dog goes down, you have a party. Have a party. And that's the other mistake people make. I see this in command discrimination, fix and goes, signal exercise, especially drop on recall. The dog does what you want it to do, and instead of praising right then and there, you call the dog into you and praise. So now you've reinforced the faster you get to me, that's when you get praised, and they're just going to blow the drop again. Signal exercise, the dog that maybe from the down to the sit just comes in, finally does the sit, nothing. You praise here, they're going to come in again. Okay. So you got to know what you're doing with the fix and go. Mm. Ah, love my chai tea. Okay. So, so have a plan if you're going to do it. Um, then, um, oh shoot, there's something else. Um, and can you tell I don't write things down before I start? But that's okay. That's okay. So the fix and go, I've covered when you might want to do it, what not to do, um, how to do it. Remember, you cannot touch your dog. You can shorten an exercise to make it easier. Now, exercises I would never do a fix and go on. Oh, some people on the heel off leash and novice will say to the judge, can I do a fix and go with the leash on? No. No, you can't. The exercise is heel off leash. Now, there was one time in novice that Judy was just really a bit spooked by the show site. And the first day, heeling on leash obviously was fine, off leash, not at all. And I said to um, the judge, I'd like to do a fix and go, heel off leash. And all I want to do is take one step, say up, and praise the daylights out of her. Because it was the first step she wasn't doing. And I did that. My dog responded to me, and the judge looked at me and said, that was perfect. Okay. So you don't have to do the whole exercise, right? Um, but let the judge know what you're thinking with that. Um, with now, so the exercises that I think fix and go could be helpful if you're starting to see the beginning of a problem. Again, a one-time error, I'm not going to do it. Okay. I make mistakes in the ring, the dog can make mistakes in the ring. If my dog's not trained right, I'm not going to enter. Okay. Um, so basically, like a drop on recall, I've seen people do it very nicely. Um, Go outs, if it's a really weird look setting. I'm going to give an example. Toledo Kennel Club, not at their building, but at the fairgrounds. Utility. So the dog is going out. I think they have stanchions back there, but you have the garage door thing open, right? The elephant door is open. There's a fan there, and it kind of sucks the dogs into that corner, and it can make go outs really difficult. I'll probably have Judy enter there if I'm walking okay, um, this year. And what I might do is if she has problems with that go out because she's going to be brand new to utility. She's never seen something like that. I'll do a fix and go. I'll move her up kind of like a grad open distance, have her do the go out and praise the heck out of her, just so she can see where it's at. So that's something that's useful. I would never, ever do a fix and go for utility sent articles. Okay. You have no control over what article the dog's going to pick up if you do it over unless you pick them all up. I've never seen that done correctly and right. Don't do it on scent articles. Um, the, other exercises, if you have a plan, again, if you truly don't think your dog is ready, the fix and go is not going to train the dog. A fix and go is only good for a dog who is well trained in what you're doing. Okay? So keep that in mind. Otherwise, if you're having a bad healing day, just give a couple extra healing commands. Yeah, it's an NQ, but you get to keep going. Okay. If you have to give a second drop signal, fine. If you choose to. Um, on a signal exercise, every so often, you'll hear someone's voice yell down, and it's a shock because it's a signal exercise. You know, they got their dog down, it's an NQ, and they keep showing, right? So be frugal with it. Okay. Don't plan on doing it all the time, but have it for when you need it to best help your dog. Okay. And with that, I will close this one.